Today, we're diving into one of the most powerful hormones in your body. We're talking about insulin, and we're going to show you why it is truly the master key to your entire metabolic health.
So, let me ask you a question. Imagine your body has this perfect master key. It controls everything: energy, storage, all of it. Now, what if that key started to get rusty? What if the locks it was supposed to open just stopped turning?
Okay, to understand that key, we've got to start with the basics. We have to look at how our body is basically a fuel manager. And just like any engine, it all starts with the fuel you're putting into it.
Right, so when you eat carbs or sugar, your body breaks them down into this stuff called glucose. You can think of glucose as pure gasoline for your cells. It's essential, you need it. But, and this is a huge but, while your cells need it for energy, having too much glucose just hanging around in your bloodstream is actually toxic.
So how does your body pull off this incredible balancing act? Well, it calls in the manager. Your pancreas releases insulin, the hero of our story today, and its whole job is to manage this super powerful but potentially dangerous fuel source.
And insulin isn't just some simple manager. It has two really specific, super critical jobs. I want you to think of it as both the doorman and the security guard.
And this is where insulin's genius really comes into play. On one hand, it's the doorman at your muscle cells. It literally uses its key to unlock the gates, letting all that glucose from your food rush inside to be burned for immediate energy. But at the exact same time, it's playing security guard over at your fat storage. Its presence is a signal that says, hey, we've got fresh fuel coming in right now, so lock the doors, don't release any of the old stuff. It's an amazingly efficient system. But what happens when this perfectly tuned system starts to break down? What happens when the key just stops working the way it's supposed to? And this gets us to the heart of the problem: insulin resistance. It's exactly what it sounds like. Your cells, especially your muscle and fat cells, they just start to ignore insulin's signal. The key is still there, your body is making it, but the locks have become rusty. They're jammed. And this has two immediate, really bad consequences. First, the doorman can't get the muscle doors open, so all that sugar gets trapped in your blood with nowhere to go. And second, the security guard's message isn't getting through, so the fat warehouse doors just swing open, letting stored fat leak out into your system. It's total, organized chaos. So the obvious question is, right, how does a system that's so brilliant get so messed up in the first place? And the answer is surprisingly simple. It's just overwork. We're asking insulin to do way too much, way too often. So here's how that happens. It starts with just a constant intake of high-sugar foods and refined carbs. Your pancreas sees all this fuel and has no choice but to work overtime, pumping out insulin nonstop. It's like someone knocking on your door 24/7. At first, you answer, but eventually, you just start ignoring them. That's exactly what your cells do. They start to ignore the signal to protect themselves. The locks basically go numb because the key is being turned too often. Now, all this chaos at the cellular level creates a massive traffic jam downstream. And all of that traffic, it gets rerouted to one single place: your liver. You get this return to sender effect inside your body. All the sugar the muscles rejected and all the fat that leaked out of storage, it has to go somewhere. So it all gets sent back to the central processing plant, the liver. And your liver, it's a hard worker. It sees this huge flood of fuel coming in, and it basically panics. Its only job at this point is to figure out how to get rid of all this stuff, and fast. So what does it do? It starts working frantically, packaging all this extra sugar and fat into these little transport vehicles called VLDL, very low-density lipoproteins. It's just trying to clear the loading dock. So it loads up these VLDL trucks and shoves them out into your bloodstream, just desperately trying to get them out of the way. And here it is. This is the big takeaway. Those VLDL trucks are your triglycerides. When a doctor says you have high triglycerides, this is the hidden story behind that number. Insulin resistance is the secret factory that's creating that traffic jam in your blood. Okay, I know all of that sounds kind of bad, but here is the most important part of this whole story. You can fix this. You can actually clean the locks. And this is absolutely critical to understand. The locks on your cells are not permanently broken. They're just overwhelmed. They're burned out from overuse. All they really need is a break so they can become sensitive again. So how do we do that? Well, there's a pretty straightforward three-part strategy. First, the pause.
Just give your system a break from making insulin all the time. Things like fasting or even just time-restricted eating stop that constant knocking on the cell's door. Second, the burn. Move your body. When you exercise, your muscles start demanding fuel, and that helps pull sugar out of the blood. And third, the shield. When you eat, choose foods with lots of fiber and healthy fats. They act like a shield, slowing down how fast sugar hits your system and preventing those massive insulin spikes.
So let's end on this thought. Remember, your system isn't broken. It's just overwhelmed. And the most empowering piece of this entire story is that you are the one holding the master key. You have the power to clean those locks and take back control.